But Loki, episode 1 and 2, I didn't watch him. What do you have to say about episode 1 and 2? If you can, it's not surmise. If you can condense,
summarize.
You smart.
Sometimes. So far it's been good. I think Bobby mentioned it last week. The first episode, nothing too crazy. I wouldn't say nothing happened, but it didn't really progress the story so much. Mm-hmm. The first episode was so I guess when the season 1 ended, Sophie kicked Loki out of the He Who Remains building and whatnot, and I guess that's doing something to his body where he was time slipping. So all through the first episode, like when he's like talking to somebody, he'll just like shift through time, and I guess he was shifting from present time in the TVA to the past in the TVA.
Right.
So like he was going somewhere and nobody knew who he was. Like we don't know. That's why they didn't know who he was, because it was like before he had met them. So basically, they go to this person called Well, they named him OB. Was it OB? Oh fuck, I forgot.
Obituary.
No, it's like Obiboris. It's the snake eating its tail. I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot exact. I think it's an Obiboris, or however the fuck you pronounce that shit.
Aurora Borealis.
Or David Borealis.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those. But which I think is a hint at what's going to be happening for the entirety of the season. Mm-hmm. But because basically with the snake eating its own tail is basically a loop, right? It's like there's no beginning. The beginning and the end are all in one thing. But anyway, what they had to do was Morbius had to like pull Loki's basically essence out of the time stream, and then Loki was supposed to prune himself from the time stream. And so that's basically the gist of what happened in that episode. But like what happened was he was slipping, and first he was slipping to the past, and then at one point at the end of the episode he slipped to the future, but he lost his little time stick they used to like prune people, so he couldn't prune himself. And he happened to see Sophie there, and this is in the future, and then somebody prunes him from the back. Pause.
Saying somebody got pruned from the back.
Back is crazy, yeah. But they did that. So I'm thinking what happened. Don't prune me.
Don't prune me.
Don't do nothing from my back, please.
Nothing from the back of nothing.
Please. I think what happened was it was him from the future that pruned himself. So basically making a time loop. So like he had to prune himself, send himself back to the past so that he can do whatever it is they got to do to get to that point in the future. So I think that's why it's going to be an Ouroboros or whatever the fuck you call that shit. But
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, David Duchovny. Like I think it's gonna be one of them shits.
Oh, Bobo level.
Yeah. So that was basically the gist of the first episode. It was nothing too crazy. Mm-hmm. So the second episode was obviously at the end of the first season. We find out that the Time Masters weren't real. They're just like robots being controlled secretly behind the scenes of He Who Remains. So a bunch of the people at the TVA were like having a meeting about trying to figure out what to do. It's like there's obviously some people who's like, our mission is very important. It's still important. We have to do it. And we have all these different branching timelines and all that shit. And then we have another faction of people that's like, oh, but those are people's lives. And every time we prune these timelines, we're really just killing people and we're doing a whole bunch of shit. So they was kind of like beefing back and forth. Obviously they went to a timeline because they're trying to find Sylvie to try to explain what happens. And there's this one faction of the TVA that was like, fuck it, we're going to start pruning these timelines. So they go and they fight and whatever. So, and that's really basically what happened is like, they're just like, oh shit, they prune this timelines. And now they found out that Miss Minutes, the little AI, was working with, obviously we know this, but they're working with He Who Remains. So she's offline now because she disappeared, I think, when Renee,
snitching ass bitch.
Yeah, when the lady, Renslayer left. So that episode ends with them trying to, getting a hit on her signal. So obviously they're gonna go try to find her and see what she's doing. Because obviously her and He Who Remains were working behind the scenes together a little bit. So that's how it ends really. And the only other thing was, because of all the timeline shifting, there's something going on where it's like all that extra energy is going to destroy the TVA, and they have this blast shield just locked, but they can't open it because it can only be opened by the person who set it up. who happens to be He Who Remains. But obviously he's dead because Sylvie killed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where that ending scene was. That in the first season? Maybe it was a teaser. Anyway, it was a teaser or whatever where they go like back in the past and it's a variant of it's Jonathan Majors. So I think that's probably where that plays in a line where they're probably going to try to like find one of his variants and use the variant as a key to open up the thing so everybody doesn't die. But yeah, that was really basically just it. It was like them just sort of putting all the pieces together and trying to figure out what to do next and figure out what the hell is really going on. But it's good so far. I like it. I fucks with it. Loki's good. So it's the one, I guess, consistently good show that's on the MCU show right now. That so far has been good. We'll see how it ends out.
So far,
I don't even know how many episodes this season. It's probably going to be like
8, 6,
somewhere around there, 6 to 8. But it's good so far. I fucks with it.
Okay.